So while Bud Light is going down the crapper, while Disney is forcing people to try to work during a WGA strike, while everybody is blowing up around us, we have the Super Mario Brothers movie that continues to see massive amounts of success, and rightfully so. The Super Mario movie is that movie that gives the fans what they want, and because they did something as easy and as simple as giving the fans what they wanted, they got rewarded with the fans' money. And now apparently, Super Mario Brothers the movie has now just officially set another record. This record comes to us from CBR.com, and it says the Super Mario Brothers movie officially just crossed $500 million domestically. That is just here in the Western market in the United States, domestically, $500 million. That is millions upon millions of dollars more than Black Panther Wakanda Forever, for example, one of Disney's shining stars that did $400 million less than its original first movie. They are struggling to come anywhere close to what Super Mario Brothers has been able to put out. $500 million plus domestically is extremely impressive, especially for an animated film, and we're going to get into it, guys. But of course, before we do, consider giving this video a like so you can push us out into the YouTube algorithm. It says Nintendo and Illumination's The Super Mario Brothers movie just officially crossed 500 million at the domestic box office after just 5 weeks in theaters. And that's the other thing too. This movie has only been out for 5 weeks, guys. They kept Black Panther Wakanda Forever, just using them as an example. They kept Black Panther in the movie theaters for way longer than that. They literally were waiting for every last single dollar to come in because they could not showcase Black Panther being a failure. So they had to leave it in the theaters for as long as they could until people who were stupid enough to give them the money kept giving them their money little by little until eventually they were able to showcase a high number, and then they pulled it out of theaters. But Super Mario Brothers doesn't have to do that because worldwide it's already past $1.1 billion. It's already past that in 5 weeks. $1.1 billion for an animated film is insane to me. It says Nintendo and Illumination Entertainment and Universal's The Super Mario Brothers movie powered up to another domestic box office milestone. Per Variety, the animated video game adaptation became one of the only 19 films to earn over 500 million at the domestic box office. Super Mario Bros. Earned 18.5 million from just under 4,000 North American theaters in its 5th week in theaters, putting the film just behind Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 at the domestic box office, which opened to $116 million. Now, the thing about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is that I don't know if it's going to necessarily have the staying power that Super Mario Brothers had. I do think that it's going to have the come out the gate power, which is pretty much expected from a Marvel movie. But the problem with Marvel movies is they fall off so hard in the 2nd and 3rd week following that it pretty much is a tall tale sign that this movie is not going to make nowhere near as much as Super Mario Brothers does. If it does, I would be highly, highly surprised. But again, I don't think it's going to get anywhere close. It says, at the time of writing, the Super Mario Bros. Movie is the highest grossing movie of 2023, with a domestic tally of $518 million and $1.15 billion globally. The film was not only the first Illumination release to cross the domestic box office total of 500 million, but is now the 5th biggest animated movie ever. That's in all time, ever. Just ahead of Toy Story 4, which earned a global total of 1.07 billion. Additionally, it is the 2nd ranking animated release worldwide since 2019, just behind Illumination and Universal Minions: The Rise of Gru. So, I mean, the fact that Super Mario Bros. Beat Toy Story 4 is just crazy, man. Toy Story used to be the animated movie. Like, every adult, every kid would want to go see Toy Story. And now they've been dethroned. They've been dethroned by Super Mario Brothers. It's crazy. I can't believe that this movie is decimating Disney this hard. But you know what? Disney deserves it. I've always said this. Disney absolutely deserves the mockery that it's getting in the box office. It deserves the utter destruction that they're getting in the box office as well. And Super Mario Brothers just completely destroyed their entire narrative. And that's what I love about this movie so much, is that this movie literally proves that what Disney has been saying time and time again about their movies and the reason for why they're doing so terribly, it completely destroyed that narrative. That narrative is in the gutter. So every time they try to use that excuse now, we could just openly mock them and make fun of them and be like, well, Super Mario Brothers clearly showed us otherwise. So what excuses are you coming out with? You got to tell me. It's just ridiculous. So it says, upon its release, Super Mario Bros. Broke a box office record in the first weekend, earning 55 million on its first Friday in theaters, making it the biggest one-day box office gross for any movie so far in 2023. According to box office analysts, this number surpassed the opening day earnings of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which pulled $46.4 million, including Thursday previews. The big screen adaptation of Nintendo's Super Mario Bros. Video game series was originally projected to earn a worldwide gross of 225 million, with about 125 million of that total coming from 4,000 theaters in North America, including US and Canada. They were way off. This was one of the first times where they were way off to a positive extent, because normally when they do expectations and analysts and whatnot, they usually are way higher than where they actually end up being in terms of the gross for the domestic or the worldwide box office. But in this scenario, Super Mario Brothers said, screw that, we're going to double that. They doubled that number for the worldwide gross. Actually, wait a second. No. This is projected worldwide gross of 225 million. They're at 1.1 billion. They did it more than 4 times. That's insane. It's nowhere even close, man. If Nintendo was smart, they would come out with some sort of portfolio of animated films. They have to do it, man. Come out with a Zelda movie, come out with another Super Mario movie, come out with a whole bunch of movies that you have all the IPs, you have the cartoons. Make it happen. You could definitely make some crazy money. It's obvious that people love Nintendo and have been dying for a good movie. And that's the other half of this, right? So people were dying for a good movie. They were dying for a non-preachy movie, and that's exactly what they got. They got a great movie that was fun. You could bring the family, you could have a good time. That's what people wanted, man. It gives people an excuse and a reason to actually want to go out and spend money and take their family to the movie theater. None of this woke garbage that Disney has been putting out makes families want to go out and see it. I'm just being real with you. The only movies that they want to go out and see right now from Disney is honestly Marvel movies, and that's because you're going to have Marvel stands no matter what, but that number is getting smaller and smaller and smaller every single year that passes. So I think Disney is starting to realize that, and if they keep up with this nonsense, movies like Super Mario Brothers are going to continue to decimate them, and they're going to completely be left in the dust. It says the earnings for the Super Mario Bros. Movie bode well for a film that initially received negative responses and low expectations from fans of the Nintendo franchise, particularly with regard to Chris Pratt's performance as the titular plumber. Super Mario Bros. Has so far garnered positive reactions from fans and critics, however, with many finally accepting Pratt as the voice of Mario. I totally get it, man. Pratt recently said of the fan response, there's a passionate fan base, and I'm one of the fans. I get it. Mostly, people don't want something like this to get screwed up. Along with Pratt, the film also stars Charlie Day as Luigi, Mario's brother Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, Jack Black as Bowser, and Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. Honestly, I think the best thing that could happen in this movie is to say screw Seth Rogen and don't make him Donkey Kong, but that's just me not liking Seth Rogen as a person. But ultimately, when it comes to voice actors, I don't really care how the person looks. I don't care what the person's politics are. Can they provide a good performance when it comes to the character that they're trying to voice? That's all that matters. And it looks like everybody hit the nail with this particular movie, and that's why this movie is being massively successful. So Disney, you only have yourselves to blame for the bullshit that you're having to deal with now and the mockery that you're getting because of Super Mario Brothers. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.